But Madam Chair, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this hearing?
The gentleman will suspend. This is not about a stated parliamentary inquiry.
That is the parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chair. What is the purpose of it? You can bang the gavel all you want, but I don't really care.
You just witnessed peak Washington insanity. The country is on fire. Record inflation, gas prices exploding, the border wide open, fentanyl killing more young Americans than anything else, babies without formula, and Democrats are holding a hearing about an NFL team. A Republican congressman finally stands up and says, "Hold on, what are we even doing here?" And suddenly everyone panics. This was a masterclass in exposing misplaced priorities and political theater. If you're tired of Congress playing fantasy football while the nation collapses, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't move. Let's watch the full clip before I give you the full breakdown.
For coming today, I now recognize myself for 5 minutes.
Madam Chair, I have a parliamentary inquiry.
The gentleman is recognized.
Madam Chair, the U.S. Supreme Court case U.S. versus Watkins makes clear that Congress's investigative power must be related to and in the furtherance of a legitimate task of Congress. Especially in light of the testimony by Mr. Goodell, how does continuing this hearing actually relate to a legitimate task of Congress in the face of record high inflation, record high gas prices, a completely unsecured border, a fentanyl crisis that is killing more people between the ages of 18 and 45 than any other cause in the United States, a baby formula crisis, a tampon crisis? Madam Chair, the commissioner has just detailed in his own testimony that the Washington Commanders, Redskins, whatever you choose to call them, have been held accountable. They've made necessary reforms to the organization. You got a chair here from Mr. Snyder who told the committee he was not going to be here.
The gentleman will suspend.
But Madam Chair, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this hearing?
The gentleman will suspend. This is not about a stated parliamentary inquiry.
That is the parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chair. What is the purpose of it? You can bang the gavel all you want, but I don't really care. What is the purpose of continuing this, Madam Chair? That is the parliamentary inquiry. And how does Congress's business actually be continued? How does Congress's business actually be continued by continuing this hearing?
The gentleman can co-sponsor. Okay. All right, I now recognize myself for 5 minutes for questions. The NFL's decision.
That right there was what accountability actually looks like. The Republican congressman walked into that hearing and did something radical in Washington. He talked about real life. While Democrats were obsessed with an NFL franchise and old workplace drama, he laid out the brutal reality Americans are living in right now. Inflation crushing families, gas prices draining paychecks, an unsecured border, fentanyl wiping out young people, parents hunting for baby formula like it's contraband, and yes, even shortages of basic hygiene products. That's the America Democrats are supposed to be fixing. And what was their response? Silence, followed by a gavel. Because here's the part they don't want you to think about. Congress is not allowed to investigate whatever it feels like for entertainment. The Supreme Court already ruled that hearings must serve a legitimate legislative purpose. So when this congressman asked the most obvious question, how does this hearing help solve any of these crises? The entire thing fell apart. Notice what didn't happen. Nobody explained how grilling the NFL helps lower gas prices. Nobody explained how this hearing saves lives from fentanyl. Nobody explained how it secures the border or feeds hungry babies. Instead, they tried to shut him down and rush past the question like it never happened. That tells you everything. This wasn't oversight. This was distraction. Democrats don't want to answer for the economy they wrecked, the border they lost control of, or the drug crisis they let explode. So they hold a flashy hearing about a football team and pretend they're being productive. And let's not forget the punchline. Even the NFL commissioner already testified the team had been investigated, punished, and reformed. The problem was already handled. This hearing had no purpose except headlines and political points. The congressman didn't rant. He didn't insult anyone. He calmly listed the emergencies facing the country and asked one simple question. Why are we wasting time on this? And instead of answering, they tried to silence him. That moment exposed the entire game. One side is focused on fixing America. The other side is playing distraction politics while the country burns. And the fact they shut him down so fast proves he said exactly what they didn't want the public to hear.